Hello. So, I'm thinking about the current state of affairs before I continue with the story. So, these people are from another shard, but we don't know which one. And I was talking about the shards that still exist, which are the 4th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 11th. And also the 1st and the 13th, but they don't count. So, those are the 4 shards that, if it is a shard that still exists, it might be. But I started thinking to myself, well, what if the shard doesn't exist anymore? So I pulled up the good old Encyclopedia Eorzea 3, and I'm looking through the shards that do not exist. In particular, I started thinking about lightning. So I was thinking to myself, what if this was the shard that was rejoined with the source during the calamity that was aspected to lightning? Now, I'm looking at my lore book, and according to this, it says the 12th is that shard. The 12th rejoined with the source in the 2nd Umbral Calamity, and it was aspected to lightning. So, 2nd Umbral Calamity means it was a long-ass time ago. But it has me wondering if these are survivors of the 12th. But their world is gone. Their world is destroyed. And this gate to the Golden City or whatever is, they're trying to take over the source because their home is gone. And this gate is somehow some sort of sanctuary for survivors. Carl's parents could have potentially, given her away thousands of years ago. Because of the whole time variance thing. Carl's parents could have died a million billion years ago. Carl could have technically been born thousands of years ago. Maybe these are survivors from the 12th? And I am guessing the 12th because of the aspect of lightning, but I guess it could be any destroyed shard. So, but yes, that is my current theory. These are people from the 12th trying to take over the source because their home is gone. So that is my theory. That is my theory.
What greeted us was not the home that I had left behind. There was no mistaking we had reached Yyasulani, and yet it was wholly unlike my memories. The lands of my childhood had changed beyond imagining. To where had I returned?
Oh.
We tread on, the darkened skies above a mirror to my heart, clouded with fear and uncertainty.
Oh, Arenville.
How bizarre. This cannot be Yyasulani, can it?
This is Yyasulani? There was no sensation of passing into a different world. This couldn't be a reflection, could it? I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. What happened here? I was prepared for something strange, but this... It's like another world. I don't understand. Is that another new creature back there? There are so many new creatures this expansion. Things keep getting stranger and stranger. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? What do you think, Alice? No, definitely not. Nor the wall over there. The material's not something we use in Tyrol. It's closer to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location, or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us not. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Let's take a look around then. So many freaky creatures in Tyrol. Axe speak. I must ask you a question, but I'll shave it for later. You're so freaky! I love you. But yeah, there are an absurd amount of new monster models in this expansion. Holy moly. This place is isolated by the dome, yet the skies are heavy with thunderclouds. The air oversaturated with lightning aspected ether. This place is unnatural in a way I've never seen before. Haven't seen anyone so far. I recognize the lay of the land. It's definitely Yyasulani, and yet... That looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Yyasulani Station, where the passengers disembarked. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. This is what Eureka would have looked like if it had a lightning zone. I got Eureka on the brain because Galuf. I'm pretty sure this is Yyasulani Station. But from the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. I have a really bad feeling everyone in Yyasulani is dead. The aetheryte is of Tyrali design. Like, I have a terrible feeling everyone in Yyasulani is dead, including Erenville's mother and Wuk-Lamat's handmaiden. It's fallen into total disrepair, almost as if it hasn't been used in decades. That is... They make a time bubble? That's crazy. The building is a rotting husk. It has clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Oh, everyone in Yyasulani is super dead. This is, horrible. This is horrible. The tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. This is a water tower for trains, isn't it? Amidst enormous alien structures, we have more familiar sights like this station. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. Oh my god. Depending on how much time this dome has progressed this space, there is still a chance Erenville's mom might be alive just because of Viera's long lifespans. Hey, there's a, Hi. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zoraljad's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? Hey, there's some time shenanigans going on here, it's scary. So all evidence suggests this is Yyasulani Station. Aye, and I've no doubt we're in Yyasulani. But I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash, if I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects, they are similar to one another, but in others wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yyasulani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all of this talk of reflections and dimensions. But if Erenville says this is Yyasulani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Erenville! Oh, uh-oh. Yes. It's a short distance to the northwest. Oh, no. Let's head there next, then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. Oh, no. Bzzzt. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning! It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Bzzzt. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Bzzzt. Confirm. Bzzzt. Confirm. Bzzzt. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. Yes, I'll do it. Anything for you, Grahatia. Hey, Erenville is about to get destroyed into a million little pieces, and I'm scared for him. Erenville's about to break my heart. We're gonna see Erenville cry. You guys, we're gonna see Erenville cry. You guys, I'm gonna cry when Erenville cries. Look there. Lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. This material appears to be the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect. Rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect they're not merely decorative. I would pose it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Y'shtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thank you. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head back to the village and find the others. Oh my god, I am not ready for Erenville to break my heart. This is horrible. There is still a chance his mom is alive, just because of how long Viera lifespans are. No sign of anyone. This is Erenville's village? Oh, Erenville. Let's stay vigilant. What in the world?
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone?
Oh, hi! It's nice to finally meet you.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows.
Was that the I Wanna Be Your Canary intro music? Hello Final Fantasy IX. Hello Miss Final Fantasy IX. How are you feeling today?
Sorolcha has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolcha?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
Yay! Final Fantasy IX, stay winning! Are you Garnet? Is your name Garnet? Oh my god, is your name Garnet? Shut up.
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Final Fantasy IX music! Let's go, 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 go! Sphene, you're Sphene. I saw your name in the achievement list when I was looking at Triple Triad card achievements. Oh my god, the Final Fantasy IX music, stop! Alexandria! This is Alexandria! Final Fantasy IX fans, stay winning! Hello, Sphene!
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
King of Resolve.
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tuliyola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I.
Her outfit is very Garnet-like, especially with some of Garnet's concept art. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria.
I'm sorry. It's over for me. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite video games of all time, and it is completely over for me. It is completely over for me. Please watch my Final Fantasy IX playthrough that I did to prepare for Dawntrail. I am so happy, and the music. Oh, it's I am not being very good to watch right now, but I'm very happy and very excited right now. This music, Alexandria. I assume Sphene is another stone like Garnet. So her outfit looks like Garnet's concept art. Like, this is incredible.
Until one day, he appeared. bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yyasulani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first.
Oh. Yeah. Shit.
Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the Outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful! If you would follow me.
Lead the way, Garnet. Yeah, isn't it a little odd for the queen to be walking about on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion? If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course, but you do strike me as the most capable here.
Final Fantasy IX fans, stay winning! What if the last map is Alexandria? What if the last map is Gaia? What if the last map is like any location for Final Fantasy IX? What if it's like Bermesia? Or Clara? Or God forbid Lindblum? Like... oh my god, please watch my Final Fantasy IX playthrough. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. So true, but she's winning me over with the Final Fantasy IX music. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the Outskirts, and see what we can learn, perhaps about Sphene as well. God, I can't believe we're just getting Final Fantasy IX music. Maybe the final boss is something Final Fantasy IX related? I hope it's not Necron, that'd be boring. A most unusual farm, but the produce appears normal enough. Have you ever seen such strange contraptions? I wonder what this one is used for. The innovations of Alexandria are nothing short of extraordinary. It's a relief to see the people here are well, at least. I meant to talk to Erinville. This is so sad. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tyrol. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Tyrali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrope was allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. What? Electrope. It's a material we use for a myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly to the Outskirts. It's a rather lively settlement, isn't it? In defiance of this ceaseless gloom, almost. It's a relief to see the people here are well. Hopefully the same can be said for everyone in Yyasulani. I'll admit I've seen nothing particularly suspicious, yet. It's fascinating how they've combined traditional bricklaying with electrope-based engineering, a curious blending of two cultures. This is Tanawatan village, or at least it was, before the dome and these strange contraptions.
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
They're literally just putting so many Final Fantasy IX songs in the game right now. Oh, I am so excited.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Katonye, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Namachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Oh, where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Oh. Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yyasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
Oh my god.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Popone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
Oh.
30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. the fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Hey, do you suppose time is still passing faster in here? Asking the real questions.
I was able to make contact with Y'shtola not long ago via link pearl, so that shouldn't be cause for concern. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the source's temporal flow.
You know, here I am trying to figure out which shard this is, and it's just
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information.
Like, here I am trying to figure out which shard this is, and, like, it's just gonna be the 9th. Like, what am I saying? Like, I think it's gonna be the 11th because of its tie to lightning. Not the 11th, the 12th. See, I don't know anything. I think it's gonna be the 12th because of its ties to lightning, but let's be real, it's gonna be the 9th. Like, come on.
Sphene, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yyasulani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zorolja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all, and I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine, and that's enough for me.
Touring farmlands with the queen of another nation is not how I expected to spend my day. Electrope has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. And I am sure there is much you wish to learn as well, so please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. I got so many questions. Where's Vivi? Touring farmlands with the queen of another nation is not how I expected to spend my day. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. Yupe's Halo it is called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. I guess we're off to Yupe's Halo. What do you suppose they keep inside this building? Here we are. I'm sure you'll learn a great deal from the workers here. allow me to introduce you to Mahusa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Queen Sphene, to what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's all right. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true! What manner of hosts would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You know me too well, Mahusa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with a few questions, though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. So it appears we have her permission, so please, walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead. I'll keep Sphene company. Don't misunderstand. I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wukdamat's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. Okay. Okay, Garnet. You got it. Alright, Queen Garnet. My duties here are quite varied, despite being merely a farmer. We all have to do our part if we're to prosper. I am so glad we're getting more content of the other shards. Like, I have been so eager for more shards ever since Shadowbringers. This is fantastic. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source. Huh? You wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work, but honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then? Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and Electro complicate our lives. But it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? Yeah. So it is! Which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Yapepe's Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. It's a shame Kuana's not here to see all these bizarre contraptions. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back! My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill speaking with the farmers. Then let us return to Mahusa. Well, What are your impressions of the farm? I was amazed that everyone loves their work. A curious observation. Do you not love your own work? Oh, but I jest. It's true that the people of the outskirts seem the most fulfilled. Always they take to their duties with good cheer. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? I don't know you well enough for you to call me that. What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. Wonderful, then you can call me Sphene. Okay, Sphene. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machine could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy, and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. If only we had a warrior of light who could aid us in such an ordeal. We could take care of it if you'd like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tuliolal. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Mana is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. It's true I have a gun. Then very well, I gratefully accept. But please, take all care. I'm still trying to find my Sphene voice. I've given her like 5 different voices so far. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charged fiends on our own. Good hunting! I do not doubt your strength, but please, be careful. Don't worry, I have a gun. Oh, wow. They, turned this skill. This skill used to be single target. This double check. It's AoE now. That's, surprising. Interesting. So both of my hotshot stuff or my overheat stuff are AoEs now. Huh. Actually, not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Ah, you're both all right. Thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Oh, I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you. We truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask Zurul Jaw's machines for help. He's been making a concentrated effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mahusa. If you have grievances, I will hear them later. But to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course! You're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sphene. That I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? I don't know if I will find Sphene's voice before this expansion ends. I would just give her Garnet's voice, except I gave that to Kral. Zerulja, you bastard. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us any time. There is so much of Alexandria I would love to show you. Do you hear that?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
Are these people like livestock for soul harvest? Nervous laughter.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
We're here, Namikka. Everything is going to be all right.
Oh my god.
What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namikka.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namikka, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namikka, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. your memory will live on. In us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namikka, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralja resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namikka these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namikka? I'm sorry,
Stop.
but I don't know who you mean.
Stop.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is?
Oh boy.
You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
This is starting to mess me up. This is starting to really get to me. I think we have entered I can't put this down mode. How am I supposed to stop with what's going on right now? Holy shit, the story is taking some turns. I've never seen nor heard of anything like this before. As far as I could tell, Pepone genuinely had no recollection of Namikka. We'll see how it is with other people. This is very unsettling. What's going on? How could Pepone suddenly forget about Namikka? It's as if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to the others as well, I wonder? There's only one way for us to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namikka in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetheryte. fate worse than death, to be forgotten. An old woman named Namikka? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. Yes, this does retroactively make me care a lot more about what happened in Yyasulani. Yes, it did. I'm sorry about complaining about Yyasulani. No, not you. I don't recall caring for someone until recently. And you say it was a woman named Namikka. While I can't say for certain if it was her, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. What's that? Do I know a Namikka? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the Outskirts for a good while now. If she spent time here, I would remember. So it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namikka. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepone seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But whom might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mystery about Namikka, perhaps we could search for Kachuya instead. Sphene said to try the Thunder Yards. It should be in this direction. Creature. Impossible! Huh? Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Ah! Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Erenville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in that direction, in the direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. This expansion's starting to get fucked up. Hell yeah. This expansion is fucked up / affectionate. Nothing but birds over here. No sign of it over here. Also, shut up with this night track being a combination of a piano and a keyboard. I see you, Soken. I see you, you brilliant man. That voice. Could it be? Was that your mom? Or someone you know? You found it? To the northeast. Then it must be bound for the mines. Come on, then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. I think it's safe to assume it went into the mines. An old coal mine. It appears to have long since abandoned, like so many other places. The stones in those crates. Could it be turquoise? So it went in there? I heard faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone, but we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. No, it's not a trap. Erenville did not have the ring of solo duty around him. This music is insane. In a good way. Holy shit. What are you? Yet another delightful creature here in Dawntrail. Cute! I'm not worried. We've had to improvise countless times before, after all. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. This tunnel just keeps going. A device made with electrope. It seems to be the only one here. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. I can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on your guard.
What is this?
Erenville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Oh my god! Erenville, you got a Tamagotchi mom!
Huh?
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light. I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Oblivion!
My darling, what now?
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
My fussy little bun bun? Fussy little bun bun?
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Guru Jaja's kitten?
Oh my god!
I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope.
Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
I can't say that I do, but you knew my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in, come in! Friends of my LNSP are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
This expansion is fucking incredible is what it is. At this point, I doubt anything could possibly surprise me. Arenville's mother is a floating machine. Right, that makes about as much sense as everything else thus far. I'm sorry, I've once again become entranced by the music. The Elegants had machines that could be controlled remotely. Is she using something similar to communicate with us? No, she's uploaded her machine and she has uploaded her soul into the machine. Wait, this song. So this is the Tantalus theme from Final Fantasy IX. Tantalus is the group that the main character Zidane comes from. I think this is what I'm hearing. This is the Tantalus theme, which makes me so happy. So incredibly happy. Final Fantasy IX has one of my favorite soundtracks in the entire franchise. This whole section of the game is going to make me consistently emotional, so please prepare yourself for more of that. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I wonder if this means his mom's group is called Tantalus. That would be crazy. 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 Oh my god. I fucking love this game. This is, oh my god. Oh my god, this is gonna actually make me cry. Final Fantasy IX was the first Final Fantasy I ever played, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. One of my favorite games in the franchise. One of the games I am the most nostalgic for. And the music really gets to me. Oh my god, oh my god. I need this for my house, are you kidding me? I can't say I understand what's going on, but at least Kauchia is safe. I'm so sorry, I don't remember how to say her name. Kauchia. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. Is your mom the leader of Tantalus? That would be crazy. There's no way they're called Tantalus, right? They're clearly a rebel group. They don't have the thingies on their heads. But what happened to his mom? It's so wonderful to meet you all. As the students of Baldessian, it's been a while since I... And the students of Baldessian, it's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for operations. Is that true? That's not your soul uploaded into a body, is it? We're members of a resistance organization, Oblivion. We call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zorulja's ambitions for conquest. Hold on, I have to Google something real quick. Define Tantalus. I don't know, I'm not smart enough to crack this code, but I'm gonna still assume it's a reference to Tantalus. We're members of a resistance organization, Oblivion we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zorulja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't easily be found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Now, I think she's lying. I think her soul is in that little robot. Right you are, though truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expect, you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zorulja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your heads. Does that have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electro-technology. And that we don't wear. It is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls as a common resource, and payment for services rendered. That's kind of fucked up. The void scent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind, and similarly I expect the act comes with some risk. I remember her. I remember her from Final Fantasy. Remember when this happened in Endwalker, fellas? Oh yeah, this is Final Fantasy. It's Zeromus, baby! We know Zeromus, we love Zeromus. Everyone's played Final Fantasy IV. When did the consciousness of others corrupt your own? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management? Then the reason everyone has forgotten Namikka's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearer, so if they should suddenly die, their memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people by Everkeep's core system, so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators, and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. We had this kind of trouble with the whole bring the scions back to the source stuff and Shadowbringers. The result is a fresh soul cell free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. This is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked up. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Yakoi philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, this system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mourning death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could so that the nation could endure. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe the Tirali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Sphene didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met? She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zorulja.
Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators.
Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Meaning in life and acceptance of death. That's Final Fantasy IX, baby.
Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now.
Who are we going to see exactly?
Come with me and you'll find out.
Take care not to get struck by lightning out there. One fellow reckoned you could dodge them by jumping back. The answer is shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shush! Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth right now! Shut up! No, I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. Take care not to get struck by lightning out there. One fellow reckoned you could dodge them by jumping back the instant there's a flash, but that's crazy if you ask me. You shut your mouth! You shut your goddamn mouth! Firearms makes the most sense for people who don't have combat training like us. That's why we salvage as many as we can from the mechanical soldiers and convert them for our use. Hey, so like I was struggling a really hard time. I was having a really hard time figuring out what top to bring into Dawntrail. That bad cop from Yyasulani was wearing one of the tops I was considering. These people are wearing the other top I was considering. And then I settled on the one I'm wearing right now. And I feel kind of lucky because I'm wearing the one that I haven't seen any NPCs wear yet. But also, I'm noticing there's a lot of goddamn machinists in this expansion. And I almost feel like... I almost feel like a part of the problem. I'm sorry, but I just can't accept the idea of using souls as a resource. We're to see how the regulators work, but how? So the regulators are to blame for everyone forgetting Namikka, for forgetting what a wonderful person she was. To alter the memories of the populace with such precision is no small feat. What does she intend to show us?
Everyone here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunderguard's hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Strika, one of these hunters.
What do you think is in this box? I'm guessing food. Judging by its name, I take it this facility is for gathering lightning energy. Let's get this over with. Given the opportunity, I should very much like to study Electrope on behalf of the students. While I'm not blind to the potential benefits of these regulators, the risks inherent to giving another party the power to alter your memories cannot be overstated. Never mind the ethical consideration of using souls in such a fashion. Thank you, Debate King Graha.
Strika will show you what life can be like wearing a regulator.
Katya? What are you doing here? And with so many friends?
Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work.
Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on. I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen Sphene's crown, but they aren't wearing any at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts?
I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Katya said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact that they're weak to lightning. The Thunder Yard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to the hunters like me to deal with the fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either.
I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask.
Ah, of course. In which case, it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. I'm afraid I must leave the fighting to you.
My fussy little bun-bun was never any good at fighting, and this body of mine isn't suited to it either. We leave this work in your capable hands.
Oh, Aaronville, I love you. My fussy little bun-bun. This one'll do nicely. We'll help you! It's fine, really. I faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the looks of this. Let us help! Oh no. Look out! Ugh! "12 preserve. She needs healing! That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help! I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. Just like Zarul-Ja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of the regulator? I think I understand now how Zarul-Ja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the King's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care.
And there you have it! Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of peoples and those of beasts! Wow! The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death.
And what about the souls of beasts?
They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Strika. There are two wolves inside of you. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many and you'll become more beast than man.
Changing one's form through the souls of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal sea, different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations in the reflections are surprising indeed. Which freaking shard is this? Sphene speaks of lived experiences that suggest she is far older than she appears. Considering the power of these regulators, perhaps it's not so far-fetched.
I've never seen it for myself, but it's said that if a beast's soul is potent enough, a single soul is enough to induce a monstrous transformation.
I think I know what our final boss is gonna be. It's gonna be Zarul-Ja mixed with something else. I don't know what, but it's gonna be a super monster beast Zarul-Ja. I understand this is part of their culture, but it is no less disconcerting. Having seen the beauty of the ethereal sea firsthand, I simply can't accept what they've done here in Alexandria. When Emma Spelk spoke of surprising civilizations and other reflections, I wonder if he had Alexandria in mind. Do not utter that name in front of me. Well, we all have our thoughts on souls. For now, the important thing is we know what power Zarul-Ja has at his disposal. It is one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tulialal's concern. With his newfound power, Zarul-Ja has become a real threat to the entire world! Ah! Indeed, He has to be stopped, no matter the cost. I didn't want it to be a world-ending disaster, but that's fine. It's just a small world-ending disaster. It's just an itty-bitty one. Regulators give Zoruljah a frightful advantage, and that's just one of the devices he's got his hands on. If we're to have a chance at defeating him, we have to learn all we can about the technology he has at his disposal.
I trust you gain an insight into the use of souls in Alexandria. It's shocking, I know. I was overwhelmed myself at first. I expect you'll need some time to digest it all. But for now, let's head back to Earth and Sky.
At this rate... There's something I want to discuss with everyone. Let's take a moment before we head into the tunnel. 'Tis well that we could see firsthand how regulators are used. To draw upon even the souls of fiends, I shudder to imagine how powerful Zoruljah could become. What does Lamati wish to discuss, I wonder? I understand the argument that we should keep an open mind, if this practice is integral to their culture, but every fiber of my being rails against it. To think that everyone has lived here for 30 years, long enough to become accustomed to the way of life. I'm sorry for delaying us, but I have some thoughts I need to share. In both technology and values, it's plain there's a wide gulf between Tuliolal and Alexandria. And while Zoruljah knows everything about us, we hardly know anything about what he's become. Indeed, we haven't even seen what lies within that enormous tower, Everkeep. So here, I'd like to make a proposal. That is, we work with Kauchia and her people. We need to learn as much as we can about the enemy. The quickest way would be to join hands with Oblivion. We've only just met them, I know, and we shouldn't be too quick to trust. But the fact remains that they share our desire to stop Zoruljah, and also, that's Erenville's mommy. Sphene, too, claims to be at odds with the King of Resolve. May I ask why you would cooperate with Oblivion instead? It's simple, really. Their leader is Erenville's mommy. Meanwhile, whatever Sphene may feel, she's a ruler of this nation. There's a greater risk in working with her, and less reason to take her at her word. A fair point, and knowing Zoruljah, we must assume that his arrangement with Sphene was not made without some consideration. All we know is that it would be heartening to have allies in this strange realm. To think everyone would agree that any help we can get would be welcome. Hold on. There's no guarantee that it's actually my mother behind the machine. Without seeing her in the flesh, we can't rule out the possibility of a ploy. Anyone would call me fussy little bun-bun. If it turns out to be a trap, we endanger not only ourselves, but everyone in Tuliolal. As you say, we have no proof that it's really Kauchia, but I make my proposal in full awareness of this. Whether we're going to war or striving for peace, we need to learn as much as we can. Otherwise, we can't hope to do anything meaningful. As it stands, we know too little about this realm. We need to remedy that. We need to study the enemy, and when the time comes, strike down Zoruljah for good and all. What's more, I trust you, Erenville. You've always had great instincts, honed from your time training under your mother. What if I'm wrong? What if sentiment is clouding my judgment? I trust you as well. You fussy little bun-bun. That's always the way of it with you. Fine. If you're set on this, then I'll say no more.
Then it's settled. Let's head inside and secure ourselves some new allies.
While I'm all for dealing with Zoruljah, we need to consider how our actions may affect ordinary Alexandrians. They're not the enemy, after all. I agree with Vuklamat. It's a gamble regardless of whether or not we choose to work with the people here, and more knowledge is better than less. The vow of resolve is possessed of conviction and flexibility both. If the tales are true, she learned much in the course of the rite of succession. With the resources at their disposal, I'm hopeful that Kauchia and her people will make great allies. I am unaccustomed to seeing her make decisions like a ruler. Better that than her former vacillating self, though. Hey, I'm sure this goes without saying, and I'm sure it's kind of silly for me to even say at this point, but Erenville's secret fourth promise theory is like long tossed out the window. It's like left out 100 miles on the side of the road. Like, I mean, I think that goes without saying at this point, but I wanted to say it. It's funny to think about now. I like this more though. Kauchia, there's something I need to tell you and your people. We came here for no other reason than to strike down Zarul Jah. But I thought he was your brother. Do you really mean to kill your own kin? Yes, next question. My kin invaded our nation and murdered our people. As vow of resolve, it falls to me to bring him to account. I am prepared to do what I must, and I won't hesitate when the time comes. Like us, you and yours oppose Zarul Jah. In light of this, I propose that we work together to stop him once and for all. I just realized this is sudden, and that it's a gamble to trust someone you've only just met. But I would trust in the conviction of anyone who shares my goal, so fight with me, I beg you.
As you say, our goals align, and I don't doubt your resolve in the least. If you hadn't proposed working together, I would have done so instead. Truth be told, it's been tough going at it alone. While we've gathered ample intelligence, we don't have the strength to take decisive action. Besides, how could we not trust you? You have my fussy little bun-bun on your side. My only son is with you, my fussy little bun-bun. He's all the reason I need. I love her. I love her. I love this little family. Then it's decided. Here's to a fruitful collaboration.
Thank you, Kauchia. Everyone. Together we'll achieve great things, I'm sure of it. Then let's not waste any time. We've been wondering about Zarul Jah's whereabouts. Is there a palace inside that tower? After a fashion, the king resides on the uppermost level, but while Queen Sphene has a penchant for going out in public, he seldom shows himself. What's more, his movements are highly classified. Not even his commanders are privy to that information. If anyone knows where he is at any given time, it could only be the queen.
Even if we don't know his whereabouts, Zarul Jah will eventually march on Tuliolal again. That's when we can go after him. The drawback is we'd have to wait for the invasion to happen. Innocents would be put in harm's way. There's also the possibility that he'll leave everything to his minions and not command the army in person.
No, he'll take the field.
What makes you so certain?
My brother has always yearned to surpass our father. That's why he attacked Tuliolal. After waiting for 30 years, the first thing he wanted to do was demonstrate his newfound strength. But killing Papa didn't satisfy him, so now he's bent on proving himself stronger than me and Kwana, who bested him in the rite of succession. He challenged me to strike him down. He wants a duel to show everyone that he is superior to the Dawn Servant, and he won't let his minions deprive him of the pleasure. Then why hasn't he appeared and given you your chance? Surely he's aware of our presence here. At that, I can only guess. Perhaps he wants to dazzle us with his wondrous realm. But if he won't deign to appear, then we'll force him to do so.
How?
Even as we gather intelligence, we make no move to attack him. show absolutely no interest in a confrontation. Knowing him, he'll tire of waiting and turn his attention to Kuwana instead. He'll attack Tuliolal again, like he said he would.
I see. If you believe this is the best approach, then we have no objections. Any campaign against Tuliolal requires that Zorul Jah lead his forces through Vanguard. We'll have lookouts to keep an eye on it day and night.
Such a strategy is certainly viable. If we're proceeding with it, though, we should warn those outside. Indeed, they'll need time to prepare their defenses. I should be glad to coordinate our efforts. I'm already in regular contact with Y'shtola, and will make sure to keep our comrades apprised of developments. You can leave Vanguard to us. We'll send word at first sign of movement.
It seems we have a plan. While we wait for Zorul Jah to move, you do well to prepare for battle, and it begins with familiarizing yourselves with the technology that empowers him. To that end, I'll show you to Oblivion's main headquarters.
Oh, I thought this place was it.
You'll be impressed to know that we're located right inside that tower, in the residential district of Solution 9. Hiding a tree in the forest, as it were. The only question is how to get you through the checkpoint.
Ah, about that. Sphene said she'd make it so we could enter without issue.
She did? Curious. She's not supposed to have such an authority over the sentries.
If I recall correctly, her words were that she would register us as guests.
I see. Perhaps we're in the clear then. When you're ready, come and meet me at the tower entrance.
Before you head out, give us a moment to introduce ourselves properly, eh? After all, names are good to know when working together.
And then they didn't do that.
It's eerie hearing my mother's voice come from that peculiar machine.
If this isn't their main headquarters, I can't imagine what the actual place is like.
The intelligence that Kauchia and her people possess will be very useful to our efforts. Between making new friends and entering the tower, I can't help but feel a little excited. Is it just me? Or are Erenville and Kauchia complete opposites in personality? I love that for them. Well, Oblivion has operatives all over. We're the main crew here. I'm Geode, the leader of this hideout. And the dependable young twins behind me are Nostalgia and Wei Iyakwe.
I'm Nostalgia. It's a pleasure to meet you. My sister and I were born and raised inside the barrier. We've been with Oblivion for 3 years, and our main duties are surveillance and provisioning.
Twins, eh? That explains the resemblance. Oyakwi is a Hanawatuan name, unless I'm mistaken.
That's right. Our mother is Tulialan, and our father is Alexandrian. They wanted to honor both cultures.
They're beautiful names.
Thank you. Though I have no memories of my mother, I like to think I carry a part of her with me.
So, what made you decide to join Oblivion?
We wanted to avenge our father.
Ambrose was his name, and years ago he was taken away after a scuffle with a soldier over a disagreement.
It was a minor incident, so at first we clung to the hope that he'd be released. But when months went by with no word from or about him, we made the decision to remove our regulators. We'd already lost the memories of our mother. We didn't want to lose those of our father as well. They've all forgotten about him now. Everyone who had known him.
That bastard! Even here he thinks nothing of his own people.
Sometime later, we were approached by a member of Oblivion. Hoping to get justice for our father, we joined the Order. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to darken the mood.
No, I appreciate you sharing this. Together we'll avenge your father.
Thank you. Something tells me you have what it takes. You introduce yourself too. Go on. It's pretty much the same story with me. And while mine is a Tanawatan name, I haven't the faintest how things are outside the barrier. It's my dream to go and see it with my own eyes. Our mother's homeland. Aww. Once peace is restored, you must come and visit. The wilds are beautiful, the food delicious, and everyone's so nice. You'll love it.
And that's us here. You'll meet others in the back room. That's our headquarters. Some of them are a little eccentric, but they have good hearts all. Ah, Eleneshpia, one last thing. It isn't exactly my place to say this, but thank you for seeking out Kauchia. She talks about you so much. It's clear how important you are to her. That's all. Be good to your mother while you still can, eh?
Dude, your mother is dead. Like, you know this, right? She's dead. Her soul is in that machine. In order to, stop Zarujal, we're gonna have to, break the machine, which will break the little robot, and your mom's soul is gonna go to the Ethereal Sea. You know this, right? In fact, it might not even be your mom's soul. It might just be her memories. That's fucked up. Your mom is dead, dude!
Well, we'll let you go for now. Feel free to use this hideout as you like.
Thank you!
Uh-oh. Meanwhile, where? Meanwhile, in Everkeep.
Damn. I'm sorry, he looked bigger.
You've been consulting with Wuk Lamat.
Yeah, and?
No matter. I do not know what you are scheming, but when your realm lay on the brink, you were powerless. You had no choice but to turn to me. Whatever sentiment you may feel for her, it is my power you require. Is it not?
Perhaps. And yet, knowing the love that Wuglamat bears for her people, how she regards them all as kin, I cannot help but wish to spare her the same pain I have suffered. What's more, her friends possess new knowledge. Were we to work together, we might find another path. I know you're loath to consider it, but is there no hope for peace with Tuliolo? What we've already done may be unforgivable, but it needn't continue. You needn't kill your brother and sister.
I slew my only flesh and blood. Yet you attempt to sway me with an appeal to family. The memory of my father's final moments still fills me with disappointment. Age came for him before I did. For long years, I sought to prove the miracle. And weak as he was, defeating him achieved nothing. To kill them is my only recourse. Wuklamat and Kona, who bested him as he was in his prime.
They are still your siblings, even if not by blood. That such bonds should mean so little to you.
I am bound to no one. Serve none save myself. I made that clear when first you spoke to me in the Golden City. Remember, I can easily kill your beloved family. If you would protect them, cast aside any foolish notions. Your wisdom and abilities are valuable insofar as our goals align. So think well before you act, Queen of Reason. Wuklamat, if you are father's worthy successor, then you will find your way to me. But should you fall short, I will lay waste to Tuli Yolal.
What now?
Nostalgia and Wayaka remind me of Alphino and myself. Similar but so very different. We should chat sometime. Trade twin tails. Aw. It takes no small amount of courage to oppose Zarul Jah and his army. The members of Oblivion must be driven indeed. At long last, we're entering the tower. Not that I'm excited or anything. Not unduly. Graha Tia, it's always towers with you. 12 help her if she's mentioned anything embarrassing. Still in 97. I thought I'd be in 98 by now. Right, Couchia is waiting. Let's head to the tower.